What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Technically Speaking Live. It is Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I don't actually know if it's Standard Time, but it's Eastern Time. It is Eastern Time? Eastern Standard Time. EST. Whew. Got a great, wonderful show for today. We're going to be talking about Taylor Swift will probably make her way into the show. That's right. Taylor Swift will be joining us, ladies and gentlemen. No, she won't. That's actually not true. Talking about Project Gemini or Gemini from Google. Talking about the feature drop that came out today. Very exciting stuff. Got my camera back in focus. Holy crap, it's a tech show. But we are going to be Sans 1 member today. But that's okay because we have, ladies and gentlemen, the man, the myth, the legend himself. Stats is in studio looking extra crispy, might I add. Oh my God, it did the camera thing again. Oh my goodness.
I'm trying to remember
double
what
thumbs
the
up.
other ones were.
So it was a double thumbs up. It was the fireworks behind you.
Yeah.
The thumbs down means it's going to rain.
And then
The hands up. So
was
that
the
one,
lightning bolts.
this is, hang on. Now it's not doing anything. Now you're just looking at an idiot. I don't know why it didn't do that. That was weird.
That's all right. We'll figure it out
But
as
yeah,
the show goes on.
there is no BoomBox today. Ladies and gentlemen, BoomBox is actually a little under the weather. I believe he is also going to be out this weekend gallivanting around doing something or other things that I'm not going to bring up on air. It could be one or the other. You just don't know with BoomBox.
That's the problem with not showing up for the weekly show in the 1% Studios, brought to you by Taylor Swift and by Long Drink. If they want to sponsor us, that would be great. Is we're going to talk about you. If you don't show up for the show, you're going to get talked about.
He's not
in the kindest, most generous manner. But
actually, the reason why he's actually out on the disabled list, 7-day disabled list. That's okay. He'll be back next week. 7-day disabled list. He has an ingrown toenail. Sometimes you just can't overcome those ingrown toenails.
Turf toe, sprained ankle,
ingrown toenail.
Anything below the knee, we're calling it Trevor Lawrence disease at this point.
Ooh, T-Law out.
Yeah,
we're going to talk a little bit about football.
That was not good.
We have some interesting things. Got a new segment today. Grind My Gears, which will be coming up here very soon. We're going to talk about the feature drop that came out from Pixel. We're going to talk about Gemini 1.0, which would be Gemini Pro, not Gemini Ultra or Gemini Nano. Gemini. We're going to talk about PlayStation stealing your money and all of your media.
Lots of it.
Grinding my gears. The person of the year, Taylor Swift. All you Swifties out there, don't come for me. And when you're in a bad mood like we were about 45 minutes ago, what music do you put on to completely change your mood? And also, last but not least, we're going to try to dunk on Mark Zuckerberg because it's always fun to dunk on the Zuck.
Yep.
So let's go to our double share screen. This is crazy. I can't believe this is actually working so far. I can't wait to screw this up. I'm in focus,
fine.
Sounding great.
We're good.
Let's go ahead and kick off the show. First things first, and my dude made an interesting comment down there. We're going to talk about that in a minute. But Beeper and Beeper Mini came out just yesterday. So, folks, you know I've been talking a lot about Beeper. I even got stats to download Beeper and painfully set up the the networks and the chat networks on a Linux-based Chromebook.
Yeah.
And he is not the most tech savvy, even though he's on a tech channel.
That's
you're not
a strong statement.
You're not the most tech savvy. I would be more tech savvy than you.
Factual, but I would say I am better than the American consumer average.
Agreed, but you are on a tech channel.
True.
So
But I'm also
take that under advisement.
I with your help and the help of the internet, I have figured out how to do Linux things on a Chromebook with an app that was designed to interact with Apple devices. So
This is very good.
I gotta give both of us a little bit of credit there.
That's fair. That's fair. What we're talking about, Beeper and Beeper Mini, for those folks that are on Android that get the pesky bubble problem that our friends and our family are constantly ridiculing us for. We now have an iMessage app specifically made for Android. And by the way, I got to tell you, it was reverse engineered by a 16-year-old. So
Yeah.
I'm putting together the pieces of how Beeper Mini came to be. And if you read the CEO of Beeper, his name is Eric. He was actually the CEO of a very popular, the very first smartwatch, Pebble. So if you remember Pebble, Eric, and his last name I can't even begin to pronounce, is actually the one that created Beeper, the app that is a unified messaging service. But the big takeaway for me was being able to iMessage on an Android. So he created this. Then last summer, I guess he got approached by this developer. This developer was a 16-year-old kid, close to a young adult,
that's very much a young adult.
that had reverse engineered the entire infrastructure of iMessage and was able to prove it out. Little known fact, if you go digging a little bit more, that 16-year-old's product, all the code, all everything, was then purchased by Beeper.
And they brought him on as a
Did they?
freelance consultant. Yes.
Okay,
as
good.
A 16-year-old.
You know what, kid? Go get paid, young man. If you look, this is why I'm very excited about the youth of America, because they are way smarter than all of us ever were at their time. At 16, I was barely able to tie my shoes. This kid is reverse engineering iMessage. So if he's on, what I'm saying is, if you are the kid that said, yeah, I totally reverse engineered iMessage, here's my code, here's my stuff, I'm that guy, Beeper now uses it, you're going to be in for being able to get a job. I'm not worried about you, young man. You got paid. I'm very proud of you. I applaud you. I'm using the service. Very, very interesting. But Beeper Mini, free for 7 days, $199 per month afterwards. It is a phenomenal app. For those that have an iPhone, it looks remarkably a lot like iMessage on your iPhone. Like a lot.
And since you have multiple Pixel devices and multiple iPhones in this house, in this room, you are an expert on what one OS looks like versus what another OS looks like.
It is true. So I would say that if you have not given it a shot and you are on Android, check out Beeper Mini, 7 days free, then $199 per month afterwards. You all know this. I have been pimping Beeper like crazy. It is a wonderful unified messaging service platform that I still continue to use to this very day. They are going to be adding additional networks. So think RCS, think Google Messages, think Telegram, think Signal into the Beeper Mini app. And then they're going to basically split the legacy Beeper. It's going to be called Legacy or Beeper Cloud. So you'll be able to access it on your desktop, access it online. But Beeper Mini will effectively be the mobile version of that. It's great. It is really great. Like, we've used it for what, 24 hours at this point.
Well, you've been using Mini.
Have you downloaded it yet?
Not yet.
What?
I've been busy.
You're not busy after 5 p.m.
False.
You are not okay. You're not prioritizing this.
Fact.
Okay, there we go.
But I was going to say, we have been using Beeper itself for months now.
Oh, months.
Probably close to 6
a while
months now.
Yeah.
And since Mini just came out yesterday, little slack. I knew
fair.
I was coming over here tonight.
That's fair. Pixelated, Beeper apparently does not bounce off of a Mac or a Mac Mini, which is true. It does not. It goes straight through, encryption all the way. They have put out a ton of information out on their website about the security and how it works, the end-to-end encryption, everything. They have been very transparent about how they do it going forward. It is really, really cool. Absolutely love it. But my boy, Dale at the bottom, Can I gift and force my family to use Beeper? You don't even need to force them. Don't even need to force them. But you're back to using two chat apps, one for Android, Google Messages, the Beeper Mini, Apple users, or you can just use Beeper, which is what you do.
Yeah,
it's one unified platform.
The current OG legacy beeper
Cloud
is what, well, they haven't officially renamed it yet, is what integrates all the different messaging apps. So
correct.
iMessage, Google Messages, WhatsApp, WeChat, all of your social media chats. If you want to, you can tie them all in together into one single app that is right there on your home screen, your device, whatever. Mini is so far just to, it almost feels like a, oh man, I'm blanking on the phrase, where it almost feels like a sprint in an IT development, where it's a proof of concept. That's what I was looking for. They wanted to see if they could do it, and they could, so they did it, and they just launched it, and it's an iMessage clone. There's really no other word for it. So yes, right now, today,
but they reverse engineered it, which is what's important to notice. So
from a legal standpoint. Yes. As of today, yes, Scott is probably using more than one messaging app on his phone.
I'm using two.
Temporarily. But as Eric, I'm going to try to pronounce his last name, Mijakovsky, intends, or at least per the press release, Beeper Mini will transition to just be Beeper, and it will absorb everything that has been proof of concept with Beeper OG, but it will specifically be designed to work on mobile. Which
is wonderful. Eric is very, very active over in the Beeper Reddit subthread. What is it called? Subreddit. Thank you. Why was I blanking on that? Like,
I mean, you've been very active on threads recently.
Yeah, maybe that's what it was. It was like, but he's very active over on Reddit. So check out the subreddit of Beeper, and you will see the CEO in there constantly actually answering a lot of things, because he was in there yesterday, did an AMA over there. It was really, really cool stuff. No, there is no wait list. There is no wait list is OG Beeper. Beeper Mini is no wait list. But my boy Dale, that comment here at the bottom, let's talk about it. After Android users being able to message iPhone users, I've read so many comments from iPhone users who are extremely negative about Beeper Mini. In hopes of Apple shutting it down, I come to realize they don't want better messaging. And here's my thing. It has absolutely almost nothing to do with the messaging. It has everything to do with they just want to be in power. They want to hold the power. They want to, it is the proletariats versus the serfs.
The elites.
Damn it.
The proletariat is us.
Oh, well. Sure. I was close. I got 50% right.
You only had a 50-50 shot. Anyway.
Well, so that's the thing, is like it's almost like a very elitist type thing. This, by the way, this is only an American problem. This is only an American problem, because everybody else is like WhatsApp, Telegram,
Signal,
anything.
Yeah.
Not iMessage.
Well, and I was gonna do a little bit of a throwback and pull out something, a phrase that we haven't mentioned on this show in several months now. Apple is a marketing company, and they want to pull you into their ecosystem
and keep you there,
drown you in it, and never let you go.
Now, don't get me wrong. The big pull for me was being able to send videos and pictures in non-potato quality to all of my family. My family, honestly, I started iMessaging all of them, and none of them have responded with, "Oh my God, you're on iMessage now." Nobody has said anything.
Well,
literally no one.
Maybe that's because, your family just doesn't want to talk to you. But
they don't. They, in fact, don't want to talk to me. But that is another story for another day. Moving on, because, again, Beeper now makes the Pixel even more enjoyable. Today, big day, was the December feature drop, and a ton of stuff came out. Not to mention tons of bugs. I think I saw 40-plus bugs were squashed, plus a ton of feature drops that came out. So we're talking about Pixel 8 Pro getting video boost, night sight time lapse with video boost, Pixel Watch unlock, which, by the way, still haven't figured that one out. Tons of Pixel camera updates. You
got to be a tech guy.
I know. It's almost like we run a tech channel. We can now finally use our Pixel phones as webcams. hello, several years ago, every other Android phone. We now have the ability to do that. So there is a tremendous amount of things. A lot of the AI in the Pixel 8 is driven by Gemini Nano, which we will talk about here in a little while. Absolutely perfect. But we are now starting to see new Pixel feature drops. So let's just go ahead and talk about the feature drop that dropped today. I'm just going to give a list of features. Summarize and recorder, which means the summarize and recorder, it quite literally is exactly how it sounds. When two people actually start talking, you have a whole big conversation, and then you say, hey, summarize the conversation for me. It will give you a summary of the conversation you just had using your phone. You can literally just not listen to the whole thing again and get the Cliff Notes version of the interview you just did.
I was wondering if you were going to show your age by bringing out Cliff Notes or Spark Notes, so thank you.
Phenomenal.
Appreciate
that is so crazy. Like, I'm going to do this entire interview, but if I need like a quick blurb that maybe I want to throw out on Twitter or I want to throw it on Threads, it's like, hey, just to kind of as a teaser, how freaking cool is that? Again, all powered by the new AI Gemini Nano, which was pushed into the Pixel 8 Pro today. Smart reply in Gboard. Again, that's something that's kind of always been there for a while. Video boost with night sight and time lapse. Portrait light. That means you can now maneuver you have a portrait photo, a photo you've already taken. You can now maneuver the light, a light that's not even there.
Right.
And maneuver it and put it on your face.
So you're doing post-production capabilities in an app in the seconds after you take a photo with no additional programming, no additional purchasing. It's all right there at your fingertips, which leads us into an interesting
one
point.
device.
Well, not only one device, but one of the other really cool features, which is kind of hidden down at the bottom, is with this feature drop, you can now use your Pixel 8 Pro, your Pixel 8, and looks like almost every other device back to the Pixel 6. 5A as a webcam.
I just said that.
Oh, I wasn't listening.
Son of a bitch. I literally talked about that. Was one of the first things I talked about.
No, you talked about summarize for like 45 seconds.
Go back and watch the show tomorrow.
No.
Don't watch the show. I don't care. I don't go back and rewatch it. I drop
using-
our clips into Opus. I drop our show into Opus Clips, and I get the, like, if you've seen the shorts and stuff that I've put out, I didn't edit any of those. The AI did it. I didn't edit a single one of those. I didn't even come up with the content name. It did it for me.
We've been putting out a lot more content.
AI's been doing my job.
A lot more content.
The AI's been doing my job. Photo unblur upgrades, which means you got a blurry photo of something, it will unblur for you using AI. Dual screen preview, which is now available on the Pixel Fold. Device is a webcam. Whatever clean means, I don't even know what that is. Passkey upgrades in the Google Password Manager. Repair mode. What?
I know what clean means because I read the article. Basically, if you're taking a photo of a document or a receipt or something like that, and there's a stain or a tear on it, the AI behind the photo software can fix it, can take the coffee stain off of your receipt. So if you do have to submit an expense report, you're not seen as much of a slob as you are in day-to-day life.
Repair mode, which means if your phone needs to be repaired and you want to be able to protect your most sensitive information, you can put it into repair mode and it will protect your most sensitive information so those Best Buy employees don't steal your photos. I said what I said.
It's factual.
Said what I said. Also, contextual replies and call screen, which is going to be so fun when I use it on my friends.
Or on telemarketers.
Direct my call and hold for me for non-toll-free numbers, which is going to be awesome. Weather and clock all in one. Thank God, because it needed those updates. A lot of very cool updates, but obviously the big ones are going to be Video Boost. Video Boost is something done with Google's cloud processing capabilities and the Tensor G3 chip. Google basically, I haven't figured this out, by the way. I've tried to put some things through the Video Boost mode, but I don't know if it's like a server-side thing that they need to flip on. I am assuming that it is. Basically, what it'll do is it will take your video and then shove it through some sort of AI computational thing via video inside Google's cloud ecosystem, and then re-deliver that new, fully improved, boosted video to enhance it and make it way, way better looking.
Yeah. So,
now, I haven't actually tried it on any of my stuff personally. So it's HDR plus and other computational photography models are applied to adjust color, lighting, stabilization, and graininess. The results in everything from vivid colors to dynamic range and lifelike skin tones. That's directly from an article from our friends over at Google, 9 to 5 Google. That is Abner, whom is a little hit or miss on some of the articles. But this one's a good one.
What I took that away as being, we've had the ability to do minor edits to videos, inside the camera app for a while, stabilization, adjusting the lighting, things like that. But they're going to lean on their computational photography experience, their expertise, and now their ability for AI to make the best decisions quicker than someone of our limited capabilities can, and just do it for us. They're going to optimize, which is another great word we haven't used on this show in a while. They're going to optimize your videos with no direct input from you. But the other thing I found really interesting from the article from Abner, is that what you said their name was?
Abner.
Abner.
Abner Lee.
Is that when you take a video, it's going to be available immediately on your phone.
Yes, just like you would record it before.
So you can go ahead and share it. You can attach it. You can do whatever you want to do with it. But it's going to take a high fidelity copy of that, send it off to the cloud, and then it's going to spit it back to you directly in your Photos app. So again, you don't have to go and find it. You're going to get a push notification. Throwback. And
that's something else. You're going to get a push notification. A push notification, for those that may not know, is a notification from an app. Say you have a Papa John's app. You ordered a pizza. It says, do you want me to send you a push notification when your pizza is done? You say yes. And then all of a sudden, 15 minutes later, something pops up, and all of a sudden you see that in your bar. It's like, oh my gosh, my pizza's done. That is a push notification.
Yeah, so once the Google AI or the computational photography software is done optimizing everything that it can do, it's just going to send it back to you, and it's not going to persist on their servers. It's going to still be yours, but just better without you having to take the time and the energy and make all the little minute decisions to perfect it like you would in the past.
I am personally very excited to see what it's going to become. I haven't been able to use it yet, so we'll see. I'm overwhelmingly optimistic about its results, so we will see what happens. Now, I know that we said we're going to talk about Gemini. I'm going to switch gears here. I'm going to go. Oh no, I forgot. We're going to our new segment.
Which one?
Grind my gears.
Oh, love it.
So, for those that may not know, I'm a big blowhard.
Emphasis on the big, emphasis on the blowhard.
So, I get worked up about the silliest stuff. For people who like the TV show Family Guy, Peter Griffin was on a TV show one time. He was actually the host of a segment on the news channel called Grind My Gears. You know what really grinds my gears? This is effectively what it is. You can call this airing of grievances, Festivus, grinding my gears. I'm annoyed. I think we may not use grind my gears.
That's probably copyrighted.
It's probably copyrighted, but
how about we just call this the
constant state of annoyance
segment? Yeah.
The constant state. Yeah. The constant state of annoyance segment. Both Stats and I live in perpetual states of annoyance at all times. It's a lot like Yellowstone. Like, the surface below Yellowstone is just like, it's right there. Magma. It could erupt at any given time and completely ruin everything. But it doesn't. It stays relatively calm in its state of annoyance.
We keep a lid on it.
That's what we do. So in this segment, we're going to take 30 seconds each. Let's start, you know what? Let's start with a minute.
Love it.
A minute's a long time. We're going to pick a random topic that annoys you. You are going to get dedicated time to say what your constant state of annoyance thing is today. So hopefully you've had a chance to think about it.
Working on it.
Are you actively working on it? Like quite literally in the moment?
Yes.
Perfect. Do you want me to go first?
Sure, that'd be great.
Okay. Here's my constant state of annoyance. I get it. I'm not perfect. I completely understand by me not being perfect. But like there is something that's so demoralizing and just constantly annoying to just never get an opportunity to even think about maybe being on the right side of something. Like no matter what you do, if you're in a conversation with somebody and it doesn't matter what you say, like nothing at all can be said to make that person happy, to make that person respond, to make that person even consider your side of the fence, to make that person even acknowledge you in some instances. How hard does it take for you to just acknowledge we're having a conversation? It's a good, like, I'm trying to be nice. Can you just kind of see it? Can you just reciprocate a little bit? That's what it's felt like this entire week. I have had to push and push and push and push, and I just want a little bit back. 90-10. Most of the time, I got to go that 90. Maybe 50-50. I don't want to constantly have to be that guy reaching out. Okay, dumping a tremendous amount of my emotional energy. My bucket is empty. Meet me 50-50. My constant state of annoyance is that I'm tired. I'm old. I'm tired. Meet me 50-50 for Christ's sakes. That's my constant state of annoyance.
Okay.
Stats.
Yes, I 100% agree and empathize with and support everything that you're feeling.
See, that wasn't hard.
No.
See what he just did? That was not difficult.
Yeah.
That made me feel good. Thank you for making me feel good.
You're absolutely welcome. Unfortunately this week I really don't have anything too much different than that, other than maybe
if you were a Florida State fan, you would.
Well, yeah. Other than the current state of college football is not the college football that people of a certain age, like you and I, grew up with. And it is new. It is changing. It is interesting to the point of being annoying, because we used to have some downtime in the college football season between, the end of the regular season. Then we got, conference championships after a while. But then there used to be some downtime before, Christmas. Now, we can't go 5 minutes without some sort of notification on our phone, either related to the teams that we follow or just college football in general. We're not even going to branch out to college sports, just college football in general.
Division I college football.
Yeah. Power 5 college football, if you want to narrow it down even farther. And it's just, there used to be these gaps in time. And granted, we're talking out of the sides of our mouth because A, this is a tech show, B, we are glued to our mobile devices, and C, we choose to follow all of this content that pushes us notifications every single day. But there used to be a little bit of downtime. We used to be able to take a break and take a breath.
Let me breathe.
And cheer for some other sports teams, but we are literally living and breathing, and in certain circumstances, just being constantly annoyed by every single little thing that is going on.
Yep.
And like you said, I'm just tired.
Christ, I'm tired.
I want to sit down and not watch sports for a week, not get a notification on my phone about who's entering the portal or who's injured or whatever. Just, I want to watch some really trashy,
give it some air,
reality television that, spoiler alert, I might have purchased and then might be disappearing from my digital catalog at some point.
Interesting segue. Don't know if we're getting to that segue yet, but we're going to get to that segue. We're going to come back to Gemini. So I'm going to switch gears, and I'm absolutely going to go to that one. And this is a really interesting image. PlayStation in the trash because PlayStation is stealing your money and stealing your content.
Boo.
I said
Microsoft.
what I said. And the reason why I said that, and actually does involve a little bit of a conundrum if you think about it, is PlayStation is to delete a ton of TV shows that users have already paid for. Sony says Mythbusters and more Discovery TV shows are going away whether you bought them or you didn't. So, because of the mess that is DRM, digital rights management, and license agreements, technically, even though we bought it, we don't really own the digital stuff that we buy. Now, I posed this out on social media, talked about, is physical media going to be needing to make a comeback? And then I know Juan is around here somewhere, or he was for a little while, and he has a lot to say about this. But basically, here's the deal. If you bought some shows on PlayStation, such as Mythbusters, Naked and Afraid, and a ton of other Discovery stuff from PlayStation, even though you purchased them, kiss them goodbye.
Hope you already watched them.
Hope you watched them.
Weren't
I
saving
hope you
them for a
memorize it
rainy
all
day.
because you ain't getting it back. Now, I don't necessarily know what that means in terms of payback. From my understanding, you basically lose it and you lose the money, which has now posed an interesting question, and one that I think we as consumers need to heavily consider. I don't buy discs anymore. I buy the movies on Google Movies. I buy the movies on Movies Anywhere. I buy the movies on Apple. I don't actually have the physical discs. I don't have anything physical from a media perspective anymore. So if that service loses the license and the DRM rights to those pieces of content, are they going to give me my money back? Because I bet you they don't.
Yeah, that's interesting because this is kind of the model that the other, well, we love making fun of certain IT or tech media figures, Zuckerberg.
Mostly Zuckerberg.
Jeff Bezos and Elon.
Also that too.
Elon. But this is the business model that Amazon has had for a while. You can buy something, it'll sit in your library for as long as you want, but as soon as you start watching it, you have 30 days to finish it, and then it disappears out of your library. But not that I want to agree that that's the right business model. At least they are upfront and tell you that as soon as you start playback, you have X number of hours, days, weeks, whatever to finish it, and then it disappears. So you are aware of that before you purchase something. From what I can tell in this article and some of the other information I've read about this scenario is that was never part of any purchase agreement that people made with PlayStation or Sony or anything like that. So yeah, this is going to be really interesting because I'm sure there are some class action lawyers just seeing dollar signs.
And it's all going to be dependent upon those terms of service that you did not read, because I didn't read it either. There is one panicked PlayStation user over on Reddit that said, is there any way that I can save this content? Which by the answer, no, there's nothing you can do. I use PS4. I have bought many seasons of shows such as Dual Survival that I do not wish to lose. I was actually under the impression since I owned it, I wouldn't ever lose it. By the way, spoiler alert, you never really owned it. You didn't own the media. Juan, I knew you would be back in the comments.
Own the access to it.
I'm back to buying Blu-ray for the media that I really want. Miss me with the licensing deals. I agree. You're not really buying anything. You are borrowing the ability to do it. You go out to Best Buy and you buy the physical discs. Yeah, this is a problem. It's a problem that I'm going to have. I have a wide variety of movies that I have bought. And if Google's just like, nope, bye, I got a big problem. Big problem.
Yeah, Pixelated makes
By the
a
way,
great point.
Pixelpia, thank you very much for the comment.
Yeah. Pixelated makes a great point that, and it's exactly the one that I was going to raise, and one that was, and if he were still with us today, would continue to be near and dear to Greg's heart, is find a way to download and digitally store your media on a device or a storage device that you control.
I am by no means going to promote. That's the word I was looking for. I'm not going to promote that you figure out ways to do manipulation of content to download to things like Plex servers. I would never condone that type of thing. I know of people who have probably the abilities to do things like that, where you create entire Plex servers where you just get login information and then log in, and through the power of the internet, you've had the physical disks, but now they're available on some sort of... I'm not saying you should do that, but a little Google searching is probably not going to hurt you either.
Yeah.
So there are ways to do things like that. Libraries are, in fact, free.
Ish. Tax dollars, but yeah.
Tax dollars for the most part, that you don't have to pay a fee to get in the door.
Right.
Library
or for
card
the media.
Exactly. Library cards are for free.
Yeah.
You can borrow that media. Sometimes there's a long list. And maybe you could figure out ways to do things with that media while you have it, while you're not physically hurting the discs, where you can enjoy that content at the regular, through things like a Plex server. If a technology like that was possible. If that was something possible. Not saying it's possible, but if the technology like that were possible.
If somebody out there, if there's some 16-year-old who just knows how to make that happen, it'd be great.
Right. I mean, not saying that it's not possible.
We'll bring you on as a production assistant.
Yeah. Intern, you'll get some college credit. High school credit, because you're still in high school.
You'll get credit on how not to be annoyed by the day-to-day work.
Ooh, yeah. NAS storage, absolutely. I have an OWC storage device literally right there that houses all of my photos because I don't trust anybody. I have 3 copies of every single photo I've ever taken. 3 copies. 1 local right there, 1 in Google Photos, and 1 on Apple.
That's
because I just can't. I don't know which one's going to die first.
Right.
Anyway, if you don't have your physical media, go do something here. Go do that. So, going back to where we were before, I'm going to flip gears and go backwards to Gemini. I have a chance. You guys know I love the AI. Love the AI. If you also love the AI, hit the thumbs up. I'm seeing 3 thumbs up. We need to get a little bit more. 3 thumbs up. If you love AI, you use AI. If you know how to spell AI, thumbs up.
Talking about practice.
AI. Talking about practice. Gemini, this is the thing. Google has the ability to potentially change the game and get back into the land of being at the top of the list for artificial intelligence. Google has been wildly popular with artificial intelligence for a long, long time, but ChatGPT and GPT-4 rain a little bit on the parade. Raining, you say? Raining? Can you do that? Let's see if it works. Yes.
Speaking of ChatGPT and GPT-4, to interject in the Gemini stuff, I was reading an article earlier today. Searches for ChatGPT were the most popular search on Wikipedia for 2023. It dominated every other search that people were going to Wikipedia for. So that tells you how interested the mass of society was in this emerging technology. Now, give us the Google version.
So the Google version of ChatGPT was Bard. Bard had some opportunities. But Gemini was supposed to completely change the game. So teased at I.O. in 2023, Google detailed Gemini 1.0, the next generation of the foundational model that they use, and they're making it available through Bard today. So if you go to bard.google.com, you are effectively using Gemini 1.0, I think it's Gemini Pro, with Gemini Ultra coming in next year, Gemini Nano meaning it is smaller in size to fit inside something like this, a Pixel 8 Pro, with the December feature drop that came out today. And so I've got it. A lot of users have already got it. That means Gemini Nano is now inside the Pixel 8 Pro. Now, Gemini 1.0, Google says, is the most capable and general model. It can understand, operate across, and combine text, code, audio, images, and video, and it is natively multimodal. Now, am I going to pretend to know what all that means? No. I read a lot about it. I roughly understand the modalities and things like that. I'm not going to explain that on this show. I would butcher it.
I think if we wanted an explanation, we need to get Pixelpia on the show because, I think that's what they are leaning into.
Right.
And maybe next week,
so
we can send that link,
So Gemini 1.0 is 3 different sizes that span from data centers to phones. Ultra, the largest, most capable model for highly complex tasks. Pro, the best model for scaling across a wide range of tasks. Bard.google.com. And Nano, the most efficient for on-device tasks. Now, if you go out and look at the performance and the benchmarks, they are actually saying that for reasoning, for math, for code, for just general overall, it is performing better than GPT-4 right now. Which, by the way, super incredible because GPT-4 is actually really, really good. That benchmark uses a combination of 57 subjects such as math, physics, history, law, medicine, and ethics. And it scored a 90% with OpenAI's offering of GPT-4 scoring 86.4%. And so here's the deal. If you wanted to try AI and you didn't want to sign up for ChatGPT, you don't want to go to OpenAI to do anything at all, you already have a Google account because let's be honest, you do. Bard.google.com. Just try it out. Test it. I tested a little bit earlier today. It still does not have the ability to generate images from text yet, but it eventually will. It is really, really good. It's fast.
Well, and
it's
I think
smart.
I think like a lot of the AI space that we've covered this year and that we've experienced this year, Google is doing what a mature, multinational, multi-hundreds of billions of dollars company does. They're not always going to be the first one through the door, but they are going to be right on that entry guy's heels, and they're going to do everything they can to make it better. So yes, while ChatGPT has broken all the ground and broken all the records and made the biggest splash in 2023, I think what we're going to see in 2024 is these older, more mature, more established companies take what ChatGPT has learned, what they have developed, and fold it into their systems and optimize it for the way that their consumers in their ecosystems want to use it. So
if you did not, have you checked out the video that Sundar put out on his Twitter?
Not yet.
So it's phenomenal. If you want to know exactly, it's about a 6-minute video. It's not very long. It shows you the art of the possible that Gemini has. It basically starts with a complete blank table. It's just a pair of hands, a table, and Bard talking to you with what it sees. So it starts with, it looks like you put a piece of paper on the table. It looks like it's a squiggly line on the table that's very curved, da-da-da-da-da. And this person basically draws a duck. It recognizes the fact that it looks like a duck and actually starts to tell you this. And so this person continues to go on and on and on. It looks like it's a blue duck. I've never seen a blue duck. Ducks are not blue. And then it holds up it did exactly that. It's like, well, I mean, it's a very rare bird, but it can be blue. And it's like, it's giving you this information now again, it's a video in real time. I doubt it's in complete real time like that. But then the guy draws a guitar. It says, that's a guitar. It plays an acoustic, because he drew an acoustic guitar. It played an acoustic guitar .wave, which is awesome. And then the dude drew an amp and then plugged it into the guitar via just a line on a Sharpie. And it was like, oh, and that's an electric one. And it sounds like this. We're getting to the point where AI has the ability to do that. I recognize what you're doing. I recognize the thing, and here's some information about the thing. I, for one, welcome our AI overlords. I have said this before, that I am very excited about the fact that AI has the ability to make my life a lot easier. I am all for making my life easier.
Yeah.
Yes, it's not going to be perfect. And yes, I do use ChatGPT for a lot of information. Like, I don't trust it right out of the box, but it is a hell of a lot faster for me to do research with just doing, I need some information about this. Can you just pull together a bunch of stuff? Hell, I used it earlier to say, what do I want to talk about the show? What are some of the most recent consumer electronics things that happened in the past 7 days? And it pulled up a whole slew of stuff. I didn't use any of it, but it gave me what I asked. Now, if I work on my prompting, it might tell me something even more.
Yeah,
and I'm ready for that.
I agree. I think the eventual reality of AI will be what we all, or could be what we all hope it will be, which is making life a little bit easier, automating, mindless, repetitive, tasks that just take up time and mental energy and things like that. Your grocery list, your errand list, your to-do list, just things that we spend time and energy doing today that, given the right prompts, given enough information, we can automate some of that and free us, living, breathing, emoting human beings, the ability to live a more fulfilling or satisfactory day-to-day existence. And while he hasn't actually texted me yet, I know my dad is absolutely freaking out about the potential for AI.
Just let it in.
Yeah.
Let it in.
Or,
don't fight it.
He'll
use it.
He'll stay with his smart devices, and, he'll put up firewalls and things like that. But I agree. It has a lot of promise. Right now, I think it's in a transition period from novelty to usability. Obviously, we being you, have leaned in quite heavily with the show. We've used it extensively since we've relaunched it with the 3-person show for thumbnails, for background images, for the slide decks that we've been using.
Matter of fact,
it is saving us
That's
time.
AI.
It is saving us time. It's saving us energy. It's allowing us to be, quote unquote, more productive for the show. In reality, it's saving us time so we can be more productive doing stuff outside of the 1% studios.
It's saving us time making the show look better, but I didn't want to put the effort to do it.
Exactly.
So it gave me time.
Prioritization.
Time is very precious. Pixel P, you bring up a good point. I agree. I don't believe Ultra is AGI. I don't think we're at AGI yet. I know people have hinted at it about.
We're not there yet.
So AGI, artificial generalized intelligence, meaning basically it's a human. It's
the public has been made aware of. Let's put that caveat.
I don't think we're there yet. Generalized intelligence, I think we're a ways away. 2030 maybe, but I don't personally believe that we're quite there yet. So. Again, I, for one, will welcome my artificial intelligent overlords.
As long as it's not controlled by one of the mass market, people that we always make fun of.
By the way, this is artificial intelligence created. I literally typed in PlayStation controller in trash, and that's what it gave me.
And it put it on top of Micro.
That is exactly what it gave me.
Well,
and now we got 10 minutes left in the show.
Holy
Tay-Tay.
smokes.
Tay-Tay is the person of the year. That's right. Not technically speaking consumer electronics, ladies and gentlemen. Technically speaking, Tay-Tay Taylor Swift, a.k.a. Tay-Tay Kelsey. Maybe.
Ooh, throwing it out there in the universe.
They've already talked about getting married and having kids. They want to get married and have kids in the next year.
Well, more
Travis
power to
Kelce,
him.
the tight end for the Kansas City Chiefs, and the queen herself, Taylor Swift.
If you ever want to see a professional athlete get humbled in the bank account status, you just go up against a modern pop star like Taylor Swift.
Yeah,
My goodness.
there is a whole ass merchandise section on Instagram that says "Go Taylor's boyfriend." There's another one that said "Go Taylor's boyfriend's brother," because Travis Kelce's brother plays for the Philadelphia Eagles. There's a whole ass thing that people are making money off the fact that Taylor Swift is significantly more popular than the Kelce brothers, who, by the way, have a wildly successful podcast.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of that, my sister sent a message to our family group chat earlier. She bought herself a sweatshirt that says, "In my Chiefs era," referencing both Travis Kelce playing for the Kansas City Chiefs and the Eras Tour that Taylor has been doing all year. So, yes, the merchandising opportunities are limitless. The discussion opportunities are limitless. The online banter is limitless. And thus, the topic of the segment.
She is a billionaire with a B. With a B. She is worth $1 billion. Billion with a B. And she could not be more giddy about going to a Kansas City Chiefs game and watching her boo.
And living and dying with every play that man
She
makes.
really does. Like
Yeah.
that was 2 times whistle. That's really good.
Great.
Ooh. She really does like live and die just like a regular Kansas City Chief fan.
Yeah, she is on the front row of whatever box. I mean, let's not get crazy
she's
here.
not front row
and
there.
she is decked out in the gear, and she is emotion over the top every single play, just living and dying with that team.
I would love to know, over under, has there been more people attend a Kansas City Chief game, or more people go to her Eras Tour event
This year?
Yes. So Kansas City.
I guarantee it's Eras Tour just because of the number of events. The Chiefs only have a certain number of home games every year.
I don't know. The venues are smaller, right? I don't know. Okay, over under the Eras Tour.
Now, if you were to average it, you might get close. But I guarantee
Pixelated
you the
said
totality,
she could almost buy the Chiefs.
Yeah, it's close.
Woo!
But for total number of attendance, she blows it out the water.
Okay, hold on a minute.
I mean, she's doing multiple sellout shows per city.
Per city, multiple days.
Yeah.
So here's what I would say is over under, has she crossed the threshold of just the Eras Tour of 50 million people seeing her tour?
Well,
I don't think 50 million. There's
answer,
no way.
To live up to my nickname, Chiefs Stadium, Arrowhead Stadium, holds just over 76,000 people.
How many home games I got?
Well, it's half of their schedule. They play 18 games, so 9.
Okay, so do that math. Oh, no, I'm not mathing.
All right, so
Too late. I don't do
holler it at your speaker.
I don't want to. Pixelated said they would host about 500,000 for regular season.
Okay.
So let's call it. Hell, I'll double it and give you $1 million. Double it and give it to somebody else. I'll bet you she still crushes it. She probably has.
Wow. So evidently this has been searched before.
Okay.
Because the answer was right there.
So if you go to Google, it's actually at the top?
Yeah, it's right there.
Wow.
So just to roll it back about 10 seconds, maximum capacity at Arrowhead Stadium is 76,415.
76,000. Got it.
Average attendance just for one of her multi-day stops in a particular city. At this particular arena, I'm not sure 100%.
Sure.
But the average attendance for just this one arena was 72,459 people. She is blowing Travis Kelce out of the water.
5.8 million people have seen Taylor in just October? No way. In just October?
Yeah, Pixelpia, we're going to need you to check your
I was
spelling
gonna say,
there. Is that this year? Is
I was
that
going to say,
this quarter?
check that spelling because
What are we doing
taking
here?
that as October. That's a lot of. You look up how the Eras Tour total. Like, how would you even sell it? Total ticket sales?
Maybe that's through October of this year is what Pixelpia
Eras
is trying to say.
Eras Tour total attendance.
Oh, no, wait a minute. I was wrong.
Oh, my God.
So the average attendance per show, regardless of venue for the Eras Tour, is almost 72,500 people per show. Oh, my goodness.
Jesus Christ, that is a lot.
No wonder she's
okay.
a
In
billionaire.
total, the tour covers 146 dates in 5 continents, and there's an estimated 72,000 per concert. So it's 72,000 times 146, roughly. Oh my God.
Yeah, that's 10 million people.
10 million people. And according to Statistica, the numbers behind the Eras Tour, throughout the U.S. leg of the tour, Taylor has grossed an estimated $13 million in tickets. Just tickets.
Not merchandise.
Just tickets per night. So 146 times 13 million. That's a lot of money in just ticket sales. That doesn't count it doesn't count anything else she gets. Nothing.
We are in the wrong business.
We are not Taylor Swift.
Nope, not even close. So, just for giggles, yes, she's going to entertain well over 10 million people just this year alone. The Chiefs, if they sell out every single home game, might crack 690,000.
Okay,
people.
let's do this math. Okay, do this math. You say it was 10 million people?
Almost 11.
How many years of sellouts would Kansas City have to just meet Taylor's single year? 5. They would need 5 consecutive years
of home game sellouts.
All home game sellouts to just do what she did in
1 year.
One tour.
1 year.
One tour.
That's bonkers.
According to Billboard.com, Taylor Swift Eras Tour on track to become top grossing tour ever of all time. The 2023 data shows it has earned more than $900 million total, and that total could nearly double
by the time
next
she's
year.
done. Well, and
double next year.
Well, and the thing that's crazy about it, now granted, inflation and popularity and all that, but the previous record holder was Elton John's Farewell Yellow Brick Road tour, which grossed almost $888 million, but it took him 6 years to do it.
She's doing it in not even a calendar year. Not even a calendar year.
Yeah, she's beat that in 10 months.
Oh my God, that's unbelievable.
So much money. Oh,
that is
and
unbelievable.
Just for more giggles, because we're out of time. But you were talking about just ticket purchases. So, in addition to that, people are also quoted as spending upwards of $290 on their outfits to go to the concert, $214 on merchandise while they're at the concert, and then a measly $130 on food and drinks at each concert. So much money. You think Travis is actually paying for anything?
Absolutely. Why would they ever do that? Neither one of them are paying for anything. Even if they did, he's not. He makes pennies on the dollar compared to her.
Yeah.
Pennies. And he is a professional athlete.
Oh, yeah. He has a multi-million-dollar per year contract. I mean.
By the way, there have been so many people attending the Taylor Swift concert that as of right now, this was 7 months ago. Now, of course, this is really blown out of the water. 7 months ago, as of right now, more Swifties have attended the Eras tour that live in Montana. She is literally outpacing full states full of people for her concerts.
Pixelated, you were close. Travis Kelce's currently making $14 million per year. Taylor Swift's making that per minute. I mean, come on. What are we talking about here?
Just money hand over fist. She got a new plane. Why? Because she could.
Because she can. Why not?
She can. She wants her mom to go everywhere with her.
She's got to bounce back and forth between Buenos Aires and Kansas City. I mean,
whatever.
You got to have your own
Zach
plane.
remembers. Remember when she did country music? Pepperidge Farm remembers. I remember when she sang Tears on her guitar. The teardrops on my guitar.
Where's the end show button?
Ladies and gentlemen, that's all we got. We're going to go to the double, this, that, and the other. Stats, where can they find you?
I am still on the hellscape of Twitter at Helix Island, and I check in at least once a day at Country Smith on the Instagram.
At Scott Peachy on Twitter, at the Scott Peachy on Instagram and Threads. I have been way more active. I would still continue to like to do that. We will be back next week, Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Probably going to have a boombox. God knows what we're going to talk about. I'm hoping some more AI stuff, and maybe the whole college football will take a collective breath of nothingness to stop. Be good at it, and we will see you again next week.